Most brand founders think serious about adding more badges, more buttons, more conversion elements, but what if the fastest way to grow is to actually remove things? That's the idea behind something called an existence test. We ran one for an 8-figure jewelry brand that I work with, and by removing one single element from the product page, we added over 135,000 euros in monthly revenue. Here's what happened. I first launched a small test on the product page image box. The product pages were already clean and elegant, but I wanted to test adding Chevron to encourage visitors to navigate the image gallery. It is something you can find in most of the biggest DTC brands out there, like Breath, Keat, Whoop, or Away. They all use different styling for their Chevron, but they all use those, It is really to encourage people to scroll through and look at other images. Of course, not all brands are using it, but a majority of the biggest brands are doing it. So to me, I came up with this problem opportunity, which is visitors may lack clear cues and may not realize they can swipe through images. The consequence is that they may not see more product images, and for the specific case, it was jewelry, so they may not see angles, lifestyle, close-ups of those products, and that could have influenced their purchase decisions. So the hypothesis with this test, which is literally just adding Chevron on the image box, was this. Adding Chevron to the product image box will give users a clear visual cue to swipe through images, increasing the chances that they scroll through multiple images and see more angles, lifestyle shot, and close-ups, like we just see here, which ultimately should influence their purchase decision and drive more conversions. So we launched the test, and surprisingly, this very tiny change that we made on the image box resulted in a statistically significant 14% drop in revenue per site visitor, which is huge and is absolutely not what I was expecting. This test is a great reminder that every design changes should be split tested. Just because something is considered a best practice doesn't mean it will automatically boost conversions. So after this test with the brand founder, we discussed that maybe having more stuff on the image box is actually preventing people from looking at the images themselves, preventing them from being sold on the designs, because obviously it's a very aesthetic industry. So the conclusion was that in a visual product like jewelry, the image box is sacred real estate, and adding extra UI elements was distracting users from what really matters, which is the product visuals. After the Chevron test, there was one element remaining on the image box, which is the zoom icon. So we asked, does the zoom icon need to exist at all? And that's when we run what's called an existence test, which is basically testing whether a specific element should exist on the page in the first place. Here is the hypothesis for the existence test. Removing the zoom icon from the image box will reduce visual clutter and allow the product images, which are central to the shopping experience, to stand out more clearly. By eliminating the last potentially unnecessary visual element, the page will feel cleaner, more premium, and more immersive, helping users better appreciate the product and ultimately leading to increased engagement and higher revenue per visitor. And that test resulted in this astounding plus 5% in revenue per site visitor, plus 7% conversion rate, which in turns represent a projected monthly revenue increase of 135,000 euros monthly, which is incredible just by removing a single element. So why did this test work? It all comes down to focus. When users are shopping for jewelry, the images are the product, and every extra visual element in the image box are competing for attention. So again, by removing the zoom icon, we reduce visual clutter, and we made the images feel more immersive, cleaner, more premium, and just easier to appreciate, and all of that led to the positive test results. So the key takeaway here, and really my key takeaway of the entire video that I want to leave you with, is to really run existence test. So before you optimize anything on your store, whether it's how something looks like or a function, just ask yourself, should this even be there in the first place? Because existence tests can increase focus, simplify UX, and boost conversion without complex, big redesign. And sometimes even they can unlock 135,000 euros in extra monthly revenue. I will leave you with one last advice. From what I've seen so far, usually removing elements on mobile helps to declutter the page, and smoothen, like streamline the shopping experience, which tend to increase conversions. On the contrary, on desktop, it is usually adding more conversion elements that actually tend to increase conversions. And I think it's just because when you look at analytics and data, usually people spend more time on desktop compared to sessions on mobile. And so they're probably more attentive to everything you have on your store. Whether on mobile, they just want to go quickly to the main information or the main visual. So that's why when you check heat maps and screen recordings, you realize that most people on mobile spend a lot of time on the image box. And so it's why it's very important on your e-commerce website, depending on how much traffic you have, to run tests in this specific part of the website. So I will leave you with this. And if you're a founder and you want to have a call with me to see whether I can help you increase your website conversions, I will leave you a calendar link in the description, so feel free to book a call with me, and I look forward to potentially talking with you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I encourage you to check my other YouTube videos. Cheers.